Hi everyone, my name is Vanessa van Dijk, and in today's video I want to talk about skin types. Because if you're anything like me, you will probably thought that you have dry skin or oily skin or combination skin, and that these are fixed traits you are born with. And I believed this for years. I genuinely assumed that skin types were biological facts, and I know many of you feel the same way. But once you look into where this idea actually came from, you realize that it wasn't based on science at all. It was created, repeated, and eventually accepted by all of us simply because it made skincare easier to sell. So today I want to walk you through this in a very clear and logical way, and really from a skincare perspective. And I want to start with where this idea of skin types actually came from. What surprised me the most when I learned this is that skin types did not come from dermatologists or scientists. The concept was introduced in the early 1900s by a cosmetic entrepreneur named Helena Rubinstein. She created the categories around 1910 to 1915 to help guide people towards specific products. She divided women into groups like dry, oily, normal, combination, and sensitive. And this was not biology, this was a marketing framework. It allowed her to say that if you are this type, you need this product. And before this, you would not have labeled yourself as someone who simply is a dry skin person. You would have checked your skin, noticed how it felt that day, and adjusted your habits accordingly. So skin was not an identity, it was part of your environment and daily life. Now, to be clear, dermatologists did not invent these labels. They adopted them later because they were simple and convenient. And over time, the list became longer. People started saying that they had a sensitive skin, or dehydrated skin, or acne-prone skin, or mature skin. But none of these labels were based on modern concepts such as barrier lipids, or the microbiome, or humidity adaptation, or genetic variations, or climate differences. Those fields did not exist yet. Instead, these categories were created by observing Western consumers who were already using harsh soaps, washing too often, living in dry, heated environments, and unknowingly damaging their skin barrier. So many of the skin types you and I grew up believing in were actually descriptions of irritated or stressed skin, not natural skin biology. Now, if we look at what we know now from modern research, especially in the last 10 to 20 years, the idea of fixed skin types simply does not hold up. Your skin changes depending on humidity, the season, your diet, how often you cleanse, which products you use, your microbiome, your indoor or outdoor lifestyle, your climate, your stress levels, and your hormones. Your microbiome shifts every single day. Your oil production changes with the weather. Your barrier strength changes from week to week. So the idea that you have one fixed skin type that stays with you forever is not supported by modern biology. Your skin is dynamic, it adapts, and it responds to what you do to it. Another thing that really changed my perspective is that traditional cultures around the world never used the concept of skin types. You do not hear people in Southeast Asia or Africa or Polynesia say, "I am an oily skin type." Instead, they describe conditions. They say things like, "My skin feels dry today, it's too hot, it's too sunny, my diet is irritating my skin, the wind feels too harsh." So skin was understood as responsive, not fixed. And what is interesting is that in many of these regions, chronic skin issues were far less common because routines were simple and aligned with the environment. And now everything starts to make sense, because once you label someone with a skin type, you can tell them which cleanser they need, which toner they need, which serum they need, which treatment they need, and, of course, which moisturizer they need. It turns skincare into a diagnostic system. You have this, therefore you need that. The same strategy is used with hair types, diet types, personality types, and undertones in makeup. We love categories, and companies love categories even more because they make selling easier. Okay, so now let me explain what these labels usually represent today. Dry skin often comes from over-cleansing, from using harsh soaps, from cold, dry climates, from indoor heating, and from too many active ingredients. Oily skin often comes from stripping the skin barrier, which triggers the skin to produce even more oil, or from using Western-style products in hot and humid climates, which destabilizes the skin. Now, combination skin often comes from uneven cleansing habits, barrier disruption, or simply living in an environment that does not match your routine. And sensitive skin often comes from microbiome disruption, from a fragrance, from alcohol-based toners, from overexfoliation, or from doing too many steps at once. So what we call a skin type is often just your skin reacting to what you're doing to it, not something you were born with. So yes, the concept of skin types was created by the early beauty industry, adopted by dermatology because it was convenient, and later shown by modern research to be incomplete and sometimes misleading. I fell for it too. I believed in it for years, and maybe you did as well. But skin types are not biological identities. They are descriptions of your skin's current state, based on your habits, your products, and your environment. So it's not a conspiracy, just an outdated idea that became normal because it made skincare easier to market. And I want to wrap it up right here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Happy skincaring!